House Democrat Jared Moskowitz and AOC duked it out on X yesterday after Moskowitz had the audacity to go after a Jewish senator, Senator Bernie Sanders, and accused him of anti-Semitism. So this feud all began when Bernie wrote the following post after his amendments to end offensive military aid to Israel. Now, he didn't say anything about defensive military aid to Israel, things like the Iron Dome, but nonetheless, here's the tweet in question. It is a dark day for democracy when the Senate will not even allow a vote on whether US taxpayer dollars should fund Netanyahu's war against the Palestinian people. Now, Bernie's amendment would have touched the funding for military aid having to do with offensive weapons, not defensive weapons like the Iron Dome, but that was apparently too much for Moskowitz, who wrote in response to Bernie, now do anti-Semitism, why so quiet? Moskowitz is a fervent supporter of Israel, wants the military aid to go to Israel with no strings attached. Earlier this week, he had the nerve to compare pro-Palestinian protesters on university campuses to the white supremacist marchers in Charlottesville. So let's take a look at his interview and I'll break it down further.
While there is protected speech, free speech, hate speech is not protected. And we are well into the realm of hate speech, right? I mean, let's just look at what's happening. We were mad years ago when we saw Charlottesville and Jews will not replace us, and Donald Trump saying good people on both sides, or Mexicans are rapists, right? But somehow we don't have the same anger of go back to Poland. My grandfather's entire family was killed in Poland. He was the sole survivor. Right? All Zionists should be killed. Bomb Tel Aviv. I know the people saying this aren't, white Aryan males with tiki torches, but they have the same message. These students that are participating in this, and it's not all of them, but the students that are allowing this to go on with the Hamas flags, letting these people onto campus, the professors that are participating in this, it's the same message, which is Jews are not welcome.
Pausing here to deliver some honest truth as we do in our news coverage as well. TYT is facing challenges, guys, as the entire industry is. You know who could make the difference? You. If you hit the join button below, it's gonna make all the difference and keep us in business. We appreciate you, thank you.
So Cenk, I'm gonna let you handle this, but I just wanna start off by saying one thing. He is a sitting member of Congress, a United States representative who is unfamiliar with our own Constitution. Whether you like it or not, the First Amendment absolutely protects hate speech. It does. Hate speech is protected under the First Amendment of our Constitution. Cenk.
Yeah, but okay, let's start there. So we're talking about hate speech. You know what I think super hateful is to say 25,000 dead women and children are not enough. I want Israel to attack Gaza more. I want them to bomb and siege Rafah and kill way more women and children because they're the most moral army in the world. It's moral to murder Palestinian women and children in the tens of thousands. I think that's definitely hate speech. So are we gonna arrest Moskowitz? Now he compares peace protesters saying, please stop slaughtering innocent people to Nazis. I can't imagine anything more offensive. Now, if you did it back to him, he would catch every feeling in the world. You know what sounds more like Nazis to me? Saying 25,000 dead women and children is not enough. It's not enough of a slaughter. I want more innocent lives on the other side ended. Who cares? Where's Daddy program that Israel has? Confirmed by the Israeli press? They wait for a suspected militant picked by an AI program that they're not even sure is a militant at all, but they don't kill them when they find them. They wait for them to go home so they can murder their children and their family along with them.
I know, but that's okay because they're doing it to Palestinians.
Yeah, but that's not hateful.
But don't protest that.
That's not hateful. Yeah. That's not what Nazis would do. Nazis would be for peace. That's not my ideology. That's Moskowitz. Moskowitz is this lunatic who says, oh my God, the Nazis were really well known for peace protests. Okay, so now who's this Moskowitz clown? Why would anybody take this moron seriously? Implying that Bernie Sanders is anti-Semitic.
It's disgusting.
I mean, it's peak propaganda. And Moskowitz is a pure establishment guy, okay? So a lobbyist needs something passed, you go to Moskowitz, he'll deliver for you. Now this one, he's really got his heart and soul into. He doesn't need AIPAC and defense contractor money, etc. He'll do that in all other instances. But to be fair to him, just like almost every politician in Washington. But on top, the establishment really likes him because he's young and he wears cool sneakers. Because if you're going to betray the American people and say they should be arrested if they disagree with a foreign government, it's okay if you wear cool sneakers. He's such a good example of mainstream media focus on optics rather than substance, right? So they think, oh yeah, you want to arrest people for disagreeing with the foreign prime minister or foreign government, or saying, hey, can we stop slaughtering innocent people? Of course we should arrest them because he has cool sneakers on. And Bernie Sanders, the most prominent, most successful Jewish politician in American history by a landslide. Well, he doesn't like to talk about anti-Semitism, right? I wonder why, anti-Semitic Bernie Sanders. I mean, you'd have to be a lunatic to think that. But no, in Washington, Bernie Sanders is considered the outsider radical, and Moskowitz is considered an up-and-coming star. You should never, ever vote for Moskowitz, ever. He says that Americans should be arrested if we disagree with a foreign government. It's about the worst thing you could say. So go ahead. Is this hateful, Moskowitz? I think that you're despicable, Moskowitz, and I think that you're the one filled with hate. 34 poor kids killed in Israel by Hamas on October 7th. We teared into Hamas on the program. We said it was horrible, denounced them in every way, right? Easy, those poor 34 kids. 15,000 kids slaughtered in Gaza. And Moskowitz says, not enough. And if you dare protest me sending money to kill those kids, I'm gonna have you arrested because you're the hateful one.
Now remember, Moskowitz is irritated with Bernie for simply proposing an amendment that would stop sending offensive weaponry to Israel.
By the way, I agree.
After basically leveling Gaza, okay, after killing all of those people, hey, maybe we've given them enough in the form of offensive weaponry. Let's send them, funds for defense, like for the Iron Dome, for whatever they need to enhance their self-defense. But let's stop aiding and abetting the slaughter of innocent people in Gaza. Which, by the way, let me just say one other thing. Since you mentioned the protests again, let me just mention this. Israel's already carrying out military operations in Rafah, where you have more than 1 million Palestinians displaced and sheltering in this tiny area of land. Gaza was already densely populated. Now imagine that already densely populated enclave, the millions of people in that enclave relocating to an even smaller area of land that's now being bombed by the IDF, which no one's talking about because we're too busy talking about the skulls that are getting crushed by police on college campuses because the protesters have the audacity to be horrified at what we're all seeing happen in Gaza.
In fact, on the first day of the protests, when all this total nonsense propaganda began, 22 people killed in Rafah in yet another Israeli bombing, 18 of them children. But the US media didn't give a damn about that. Didn't mention all those dead kids killed by Israel, murdered by Israel, 18 kids. That's half of October 7th on the kids on the Israeli side. In just one day alone. No, oh my God, there was an agitator that it's not even a student outside of the Columbia protest somewhere in New York City who said something wrong, so shut down all of the protests, all of them calling for divestment. Guys, this is never about Jew, Muslim, Christian, any of that. Some of the best fighters, some of the best protesters are Jewish. They had Passover dinner inside the camps. Bernie Sanders is the best fighter we have for peace for all civilians. Jamie Raskin voted against this measure, and Bernie and Jamie are right. Protecting Israel with Iron Dome makes sense because we're for protecting all civilian lives. We don't say, oh, protect the Palestinians but not the Israelis. No, protect all civilian lives. But when you say, no, you must send over offensive weapons to drop on the children of Palestine, that means you're a monster who has no moral core. You're a sick, depraved human being who don't think that Palestinians are human. You treat them like animals. And yes, that does remind me of Germany. Thank you for bringing that up, Representative Moskowitz.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.